On Wednesday, January 18th, I woke up to see I was completely signed out of YouTube and my Google account. Didn't seem so strange at first, but luckily my iPad had archived a series of emails. 11 emails. They said, security key added for two-step verification backup codes generated, your password has changed, recovery secret question has changed, recovery email is changed, recovery email is verified, phone recovery changed, authenticator app removed, phone recovery changed, phone number removed from two-step verification, and then added again. So I had 11 emails saying that some stuff had been going down with my Google account. And it slowly set in as the morning went on what had happened to my account. I was not able to sign in at all. I was not able to recover it at all. When you Google like account hacked or whatever, Google instinctively sends you to its account recovery page. This wasn't helpful for me at all because all the options I had to prove that this was my account, recovery email, phone number, authenticator app, all these things were removed from my account by a mysterious third-party entity. There were a lot of unknowns during this time. I didn't know the who, what, when, where, and why. I did know the when, actually. I knew from between 4:02 a.m. and 4:04 a.m., all those emails arrived. So in the span of about 2 minutes, all these account changes had taken place, which doesn't seem possible unless this is some sort of very sophisticated, automated bot attack. Now, this is a pretty huge problem at this point. This is my main email account. I've had it since 2006. All my other email accounts forward to this one. I have so many sensitive documents throughout the decades I've had this email. Financial documents, tax info, house mortgage application info. I mean, so many things that are sensitive to one's identity were taken control of. And the worst part was that there was no way for me to prove to Google it was my account, and so according to them, it wasn't mine anymore. Now that was just so baffling to me of how quickly and effectively my whole internet life could be taken away like that. So I spent the next few hours of that day going through every single account I could imagine and trying to change my email and password to a different email and password, so at least I could mitigate the damage. I could stop it from expanding beyond my email account and YouTube channel. At that point, I did try and search for my YouTube channel, and it was terminated by YouTube, even as soon as that morning. So I had no YouTube account. My main email account was completely available to some third-party entity, probably multiple people. I couldn't even control my home thermostat, which is a Nest, remotely. I could walk up to it. But it just made me pause and think, oh my God, with smart home accessories, with losing access to an email account, you'd lose access to things like your doorbell camera, your front lock, if you use that service. And it just made me step back and think how plugged in we are with every aspect of our lives to email accounts, and how losing access to that could spell such a huge disaster, you know what I mean? Eventually, a friend of mine gave me this phone number to call that was a Google call center. I thought, okay, great, if I could just get someone on the phone, I could explain how Google's account recovery isn't working, and I need to find a way to get this account back under my control. Of course, it started with an automated response. I was eventually able to get through to being able to talk to somebody, but I was on hold for 2.5 hours. But at least in the meantime, I was able to go through and change my email and password for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, freezing my credit. I did find out there are a couple services that if you don't have access to your hacked email, you can't change that email. So the hacker could take over my Disney Plus, which, whatever, it's Disney Plus, but things like my Discord, which I use a lot, or my Epic Games account, which I use for Unreal Engine. Those accounts will not let you change the email if you don't have access to the original one, so a little FYI there. Finally, I get an answer from the Google call center. They do say up front, we're not able to change any settings or account information, we're just here to provide basic assistance, but I thought I have to at least try and see what they say. As I explained the situation, essentially what she had said is, if you don't have access to the recovery email or recovery phone or any way to prove it's your account, then I'm sorry, sir, you've lost access to the account. Now, that was just, oh, I couldn't believe that someone working in an official Google capacity was telling me, I'm sorry, sir, it's not your account anymore. It's like if thieves had broken into my house, kicked me out, and changed the locks, and I go to the cops and the cop says, well, can you get in? Not your house. Sorry. It was just so surreal to me to think, well, not only is all that sensitive information just out there that I can never get access to again or try and stop the spreading of, but my YouTube account's gone. And I know I don't have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel, but I do use it for essentially everything. I have hundreds of playlists. I use it for tutorials, for music, for everything. I use YouTube every single day. So Google's official response was basically, you might have to start a new account. And I'm thinking, I have multiple Gmail accounts. That's not the problem. The problem is I have everything on this account, not to mention Google Drive. I use Google Drive a lot too. And it's just like, how debilitating is it? How crippling is it to lose access to one email account and have it affect and trickle down to pretty much every aspect of your life? Like I said, smart home accessories, file sharing, social media, everything is connected to this one email account. And for Google itself to say, sorry, there's nothing we can do, is pretty depressing. And it made me really lose hope after that. I thought there was really nothing I could do. And in a matter of hours to just lose access to so much of my internet life like that and think it was gone forever. What I was grappling with for a long time during that day, why wasn't two-factor authentication at play in any of this? Even if this hacker was able to use my login info and password, every time I do that on a new machine, a notification goes to my phone and says I have to go to the YouTube app and approve it. That was not at all factored into this. There was no notification sent to my phone, nothing for me to approve or deny. They were just in, and within 2 minutes, everything was changed and I was locked out. So this had to have been some sort of, like I said, extremely sophisticated, malicious, automated piece of software that did this. The call center person I spoke to also said that since Google is an internet company, they don't offer IT or tech support, which seems strange to me. I was thinking, like, it's this enormous company, one of the biggest companies in the world, and they don't offer tech support. That's insane, right? Like, you would think, okay, this company is so all-encompassing in every aspect of our lives, short of having like a Google car or something like that. How can they not just have systems in place for when this happens to people? I was just so shocked at just how effective and quickly this was done and how seemingly impossible it was to reverse. So I was about to completely give up, and then my fiance showed me this video. She was trying to find answers too, and there's this video of this guy who is explaining what happened to him, how he was logged out of his account, all the things were changed, no two-factor authentication, and it sounded exactly like what had happened to me. And so I was thinking, oh my God, like, maybe he can help me through this. It sounded a little bit too good to be true, especially because I thought the official answer was, nope, sorry, nothing we can do. So the trick was that you have to reach out to Team YouTube on Twitter. It's YouTube's official Twitter account. I mean, within minutes, they reached out and responded to me. It was shocking how quick they were to respond just to me. I'm not a big channel. I'm not an important figure. But they still like very quickly responded. And you have to follow them because they want to reach out with a direct message, and you have to follow them for that to work. So I did, and they said, look, we have to have you fill out this report. Tell us the channel URL you're talking about. I have a custom URL, so I knew that was just youtube.com/WadeWojcik. And you need to give them an email address, a Gmail account that you do have access to, which I did. Then they make that Google account eligible to fill out this form. Not everyone can do it. You have to be whitelisted by YouTube to fill out this form. They send you a link. Now, this was my chance to just fill out every bit of detail that I possibly could find regarding this hack. Details about my channel, like when I started it, describe in detail the last video I uploaded. The one bit of information that I couldn't fill out because I didn't have it recorded anywhere was my channel ID. The channel ID, it's not your handle or your custom URL. To my understanding, it's specifically the randomized string of digits that your original channel URL is, and you can find it if you go into the back end of your channel. I mentioned this to Team YouTube in our Twitter DMs, and they said, well, maybe you shared it on social media, maybe it's in your web browser history. I thought, oh, web browser history. Sure enough, in my web browser history, there's the URL, there's the channel ID. Great, could fill it out. Without the channel ID, I couldn't submit the form. So with that, I finally could. It was a required field. Got it submitted, and just sort of left it up to the fates at that point. I wasn't sure what was going to happen. The next day, just by happenstance, I found myself on google.com again. Thought, what the heck, I'll try logging in one more time. But this time something had changed. Instead, it said, your account has been frozen. I thought, oh, that's new. And then I click into that and it says, enter the code that we just sent this recovery email. I thought, I don't have access to the recovery email. Wait a minute, the recovery email that it showed was my original recovery email. I'm like, oh, I have access to that. Log into my recovery email. Sure enough, there's a code, input the code, and then I'm back in. And I thought, wow, that's lucky. And apparently what had happened was this information on my Google account, things like the password, the backup email, the phone, like all that stuff had changed so many times, and my email was being accessed by so many different places around the world so quickly that they flagged it as suspicious and locked it. But this was like 24 hours after the initial hack had happened. I mean, I'm thankful that it happened at all, but it was just a little bit after the fact. I was able to see the first login was, I think, in Russia, then in like Georgia, then Illinois, and it sort of bounced around the globe a couple times until it was frozen. I was able to see all the requests that I was sending this email for verification, me trying to log in, but it didn't look like that they had received or sent anything from this email. So as far as I know, I didn't have any direct evidence that they had accessed or downloaded any content from my email inbox. So hopefully that's the case, but I don't know for sure. As far as I can gather, this has happened to quite a lot of people, specifically YouTubers. Typically, it's, from what I understand, some sort of malicious link that you click on that acts as sort of in between your computer and the services. So it's able to bypass two-factor authentication. I could not figure out what I possibly could have clicked on that would allow any sort of software to get on my machine, but I'm assuming that's what it was. I really don't know what else it could have been. So I finally had my Google account back, not my YouTube yet. Later that day, I get an email saying, good news, we've recovered your YouTube account. You can log in. And so I could log in and finally see what had happened. It's pretty messed up. My account was turned into Tesla 32 CEO. All my videos were thankfully still there. They were just made private. And the two videos that were on there that got my account terminated were live streams about Elon Musk talking about Logan Paul and crypto. And those live streams, I don't know if anyone watching actually tuned in, but apparently this is happening a lot to YouTubers. Some of them to big YouTubers like McCreamy, who has 8 million subscribers. Bots will tune in, largely bots, some real people, and the whole scheme is to get people to donate their crypto into this wallet and then just completely scam people. One version was this deep fake of Elon Musk on a stage talking about how it's going to make everybody rich.
Today we are launching an investment project that is working right now. If you see this video, absolutely everyone can earn in it. Everything is very simple. You invested your money in Bitcoin for our bot, after which everyone who invested their cryptocurrency will be able to receive exactly 30% of dividends every day from Bitcoin.
It's essentially sort of a sophisticated Nigerian prince scam, I think. I don't know for sure. I didn't watch the videos. I didn't watch the live streams that were on my account. I just took a screenshot of what they were and then deleted them off my channel and then brought everything back. And it's kind of silly to look back on it now and see like what had happened, especially now that I have my Gmail, I have my YouTube accounts, I have everything has been restored to me. And I was able to make sure that no money was stolen out of my bank and no lines of credit open in my name, hopefully. But I can't stress how frustrating and just hopeless that this makes you feel, because for a good day at least, I felt like there was nothing I could do. All this stuff was now gone, and I had no way to get it back. And there was really no line of defense. I did have a two-factor authenticator app. All these things that I thought would keep my account secure were punched through like paper. So if this has happened to anyone watching this, please take the steps that I've illustrated, or reach out to me, and you can ask me any specific questions about what I did. But essentially it breaks down to reaching out to Team YouTube on Twitter and filling out their form to submit this report. This is something that they've dealt with, and I'm sure are trying to find more effective ways to combat, because it does seem like a YouTube-specific problem, not necessarily a Google problem, although it is part of that as well. I recommend for anyone watching to take steps to prevent this sort of thing from happening. So obviously two-factor authentication, but sometimes that's not enough. It certainly wasn't for me, so I'd recommend setting up the Authenticator app. If you have an iPhone, Apple offers passkeys now, which connects with that service. Or you can get a physical USB drive that you have to plug into your computer in order to get access to your Google account. And then the last thing is to have a set of backup codes. So when you go in your Google account under privacy and security, under two-factor authentication, you have the option to generate a set of backup codes. These codes are only good once, but it generates like 10 or so of them, and you can generate more anytime you want. Save that as a file on your computer or anywhere, print it out, keep it safe. So if the backup email is changed, if the backup phone number is changed, and the security questions, all that, if all that's changed, sometimes the backup code is all that can save your account, so I'd recommend doing that. Also, I really recommend not reusing any passwords. So for me, every single account gets its own password. Twitter, Epic Games, Discord, YouTube, everything. Now the downside of that is it's basically impossible to remember all my passwords, but there are encrypted services you can use to keep your passwords safe, and you can easily look them up. I use that as well. And it's just so important to keep your internet identity split into separate buckets, so if one gets breached, the others are safe. For example, my main email account had access to my PayPal, and so hypothetically, the hacker could have had access to and got control of my PayPal account. Now, my only way to pay for things on there was a credit card, which I did cancel. So if they did get access and tried to use my PayPal, they wouldn't be able to charge me anything. In fact, my Facebook also got hacked, and the hacker tried to charge ads to my Facebook account, and then automatically Facebook did try to charge me. Thank God, again, with an out-of-date credit card. But it's just, again, so easy for hackers to try and charge things to your account, putting lines of defense in different areas. So in this case, the credit card in the bank saved me a lot of money. If one of your accounts does get hacked, Google, Facebook, whatever, it's on you to get it back. It really is. These companies, they have resources in place, and they will, to some degree, try to help you, but ultimately, you're the only one who can get your account back. Sort of like the Smokey Bear, only you can prevent forest fires. Only you can care enough about your own life to make sure that it's safe and secure online. And most importantly, don't give up hope like I was about to do. There are ways to get your accounts back, even though it seems totally hopeless, even though Google themselves would say, sorry, tough luck. There are things you can do. Be diligent, be careful, keep these lines of defense in place, and if it does happen to you, just know that there are steps you can take to get things back to normal. All is not lost, and I hope this helped somebody. I hope this helped you watching. Either take steps to keep yourself secure or to recover an account if it's been compromised. These steps will work as of January 2023. I hope moving forward in the future these steps are still working. Oftentimes you'll look on a video from a couple years ago, and the back end of some of these sites, like your Google account, things will look totally different. All the options are all over the place, and some things are missing. Like, for example, I don't think Google offers security questions anymore. So I hope that these steps are somewhat still relevant. If not, hopefully you can still reach out to Team YouTube on Twitter. The Google account recovery form on their site It doesn't work in all cases, doesn't work for me. If it doesn't work for you, again, don't lose hope. There is a way to get it recovered. For me, it only took about 2 to 3 days. With Facebook, it took a little bit longer. They were slower responding to me, but at least I think that's all good to go now. I am so thankful to have access to my YouTube account again because I care about this channel. I want to make it grow. I want to post more and better videos. I want to interact more with the YouTube community at large. In 2023, I want to post a lot more videos to this channel and be a more positive, optimistic, and hopeful voice on this platform. So thank you for tuning in to formerly Tesla Live, now a secured YouTube channel. If you subscribe to this channel, just know that you're not going to get any more spammy bot live streams. You're going to get real, authentic videos talking about meaningful and interesting topics. So I hope you do subscribe if you're not already and join me on this journey. Thank you.